So this is going to be my review of Children of Invention, directed by Chun. Typically in films that are kind of playing with family dynamics, show father's perspective in relation to mother's perspective in relation to children, but this film is kind of the reverse of that model and what we're used to seeing. It was much more focused on the children, their perspective, and not necessarily how what they were being subjected to, but how they were being affected as people, just being really broke and having to live in a model apartment and having to move out of a house that they were comfortable in, assumingly from the time that they were born. Most of the time, children aren't really portrayed as people in films. They're more just the objects that all of these things are happening to and around. So one of the things Chun mentioned during the Q&A was that he really wanted it to be about the whole family, and he really wanted to kind of give everybody's voice equal weight. It was interesting that the film showed all of those perspectives and all of those layers, but at the same time, I think a lot of why it was difficult to follow was because it was trying to take on so many different perspectives, and it made it a little bit unclear as to whose voice we were supposed to be following and what the narrative was exactly. I think that was my second biggest problem. I think it would have worked for me a little bit more if it was clearly more intentional to just be sort of situation and have no clear-cut resolution, and have it be not the kind of narrative that you're supposed to follow, but a more journey. If those things were a little bit more clear to me when I was watching the film, I think that I would have enjoyed it a bit more. I enjoyed the way that it was shot. I thought that the images were really clean and crisp, and I think that the shots of the kids a lot of the time in the cityscapes were really nice, because it kind of gave you a sense that they're so small in comparison to this big world. Like, he was so meticulous in terms of continuity and in terms of making sure that everything made clear linear sense in terms of how they were being visually displayed. I think that probably should have come secondary, though, to the narrative being clearly laid out. Yeah, overall, I thought it was well done. I thought that it was aesthetically pleasing, and I thought that it told a side of the story that we don't normally see, which I liked. But the pacing was just a bit too slow for me. I think that it could have been cleaner in a lot of ways. Thumbs up.